Welcome to Lone Star Echoes. It's been 50 years since the fall of Saigon and the end of the Vietnam War, perhaps one of the most controversial wars fought in American history. The United States and some historians continue to grapple with its legacy decades later. I speak with the family of a late Vietnam veteran who shares why a large part of that controversy still holds lasting impacts today. Right in the heart of East Waco, you'll stumble upon one of the most eclectic yards in the entire neighborhood, decorated with art pieces and embellishments that bring color and life to an otherwise mundane street.
It's relaxing.
It's the home of Shirley Sims, widow of Vietnam veteran Sergeant Louis Sims. I spent an afternoon with Shirley, and she welcomes me into her very unique home.
You like it?
Inside this home, the memory of her late husband are everywhere you look.
Still miss him every day, but it's just like his presence still here because it's where he resides. And the pictures and everything.
And on full display hangs his service uniform.
A few of the proud Marines.
Louis was 18 when he enlisted in the Marines, served in Vietnam for 4 years, earning 26 medals during his tour, including a Purple Heart.
He got wounded in action on Christmas Day.
When his only son, Louis Sims Jr., tells me about his father, it's clear that they shared a special bond.
Every time he had a chance, he would just talk to me about life.
And the war stories his father kept from his mother, Louis shared with his son.
My daddy said we weren't winning. If we weren't getting killed in the field, if they weren't getting killed leisure time, they were just getting picked off. And they did not know the area.
The U.S. Armed Forces were in uncharted territory, but refusing to back down, they deployed an herbicide called Agent Orange. It was used to kill the leaves on trees and dense jungle that provided cover for the enemy. Over 19 million gallons of Agent Orange were sprayed all over Vietnam, spanning 20 million acres from 1962 to 1971.
You knew at some point that it's going to get bad. With that Agent Orange.
The USDA discovered its toxicity in 1969, but the damage was already done. Exposure to it has been linked to 50 diseases and illnesses, affecting over 2 million people. It has also resulted in death. 300,000 U.S. veterans have died from Agent Orange. Louis was one of its victims, his wife and son recounting the years he suffered from body aches and pains throughout his entire life. And at the age of 71, he was diagnosed with bone cancer from exposure to Agent Orange.
Was I mad? Yeah. What can you do? You fought for us. You fought for your country. You made it. But the result is you catch something.
And he died less than a year later.
My daddy always been my best hero, my best friend, period. He always told me a lot of stuff. And so when he but he been my best friend, for real. He been my best friend. And
Why are you getting emotional?
Yeah. He always been.
As you can see, some old wounds never truly heal.
Imagine there's no country.
In an anti-war protest and a call for peace, here is music legend John Lennon live on stage for the last time, performing his hit song Imagine, less than 2 weeks before the fall of Saigon on April 30th, 1975. As we reflect on the Vietnam War 50 years later, and in the case of Agent Orange, it's hard to ignore the deep consequences our actions have played out decades later. But if we can all learn from our mistakes, imagine the possibilities. The repercussions of Agent Orange are far more widespread than we can imagine. According to the Vietnamese government, as many as 400,000 Vietnamese people suffered death or permanent injury brought on by Agent Orange. Scientists say toxic byproducts are still embedded in Vietnam's ecosystem today. Babies born with birth defects 3 generations later.